So they will try to complete groups and sets. So let me start with the groups. So first of all, why we have to use the groups actually? So I want to combine multiple values into single value. Then in that case, we can go for groups actually. So for example, you see here, I have a subcategory and I have a sales here. So you see here, for example, for arts, what is the total value? 30,000. And for binders, what is the total value? 2,41,000. So I want to see combined value of these two subcategories. So if I do the combined sales, right, like 30,000 plus 2,41,000. So which will resulting about like, so I want to do that, I want to get that combined sales actually. So the combined sales is like around 2,71,000. So in that case, right, then we can go for groups actually. So the simplest way to create the groups is like, so we want to combine the two values, right? Arts and binders, right? Simply press the control, click on arts and click on binders. Then a pop-up will come here. And in that, we will say pin symbol like this here, right? Just simply click on that group members option. So this is called a group members option. Simply click on that option. Now we see arts and binders both are combined and we are getting value of 2,71,000. And whenever and what the Tableau will do is once these two fields are combined, right, Tableau will create one more additional group field here that is called a subcategory group here. So this is a shortcut method, but in general we don't follow this method. You just see in the data pane here. In the data pane, you see whatever we see here, the field name, the Tableau is creating the same field here also, and this is called grouping actually. So how to identify groups is you can simply you can see this pin symbol, right? So this is nothing but a group actually. This is the symbol for groups actually. Okay. So just let me go back one time. Now you see we are ungrouping them. So what I told you till now, that is a shortcut method, but in general, we don't follow that method. Now what I will do is I'll directly go to my row shelf. What is the field here I'm using is subcategory, right? So I just search for the same subcategory here, go to the drop down and create, just go for group option. Now, when you click on the group option, right, a window will come here. In that, what I will do, I'll simply select arts, just press control, simply select art and binders. And once you select these two, right, Tableau will automatically highlight those values in a blue color here. Now just come down here, simply click on the group button. Now you see Tableau is automatically grouping these two values under this group here. So which is called art and binders group. Now, if you don't like this name, simply right click on that or just double click on that and you can simply rename it actually. So you can rename to like arts and like that you can rename to any value or you can see simply rename art or you can simply rename group one like that. So under this group one, what are the values we can see is arts and binders. Now what I can do, simply click on OK. Now you see a Tableau is creating a group here with a calibration field that is called, the field name is like subcategory within brackets group. The group symbol is like this attach symbol. Now what you do, if you want to confirm that, right, simply drag this into row shelf in a first place. Now you see, just drag it like this. Now you see everything are as it is, accessories, appliances. So everything is coming as it is, except this arts and binders are combined into a group one here. Now what I will do, I go to row shelf, simply remove the subcategory here. Now I'll keep only a group only here. Now you see the combined sales for arts and binders is 2,91,000 like this. So once you create the groups, right, you can create those groups as like filters in color shelf like that. Wherever you want, you can use those uh, the group what we have created. Okay. So for example, I want to keep only group one only, right? Simply drag the group what we have created into filter shelf. Just uncheck all here, none here, and simply select group one only here. So in that way, we can show the combined values are arts and binders. So like that, you can create as many groups as you want. Just remove the field. So let me remove this from the filter shelf. Now I can see all the groups here. Now I can see all the values here, including the group what we just created. So if you want to edit the group, right, simply go to this group, just click on the edit group option. Now I want to combine like copy envelopes, fasteners. Okay, yeah, copiers, envelopes, fasteners. You can select all those what you want to group here, and simply click like that. Let me know if you are not able to hear me. Like that, you can create as many groups as you want. Okay, and what I want is like, now what I want is like, so I have created two groups here. So after creating these two groups, right, now I see still there are some values are there like accessories, appliances, furnishings, labels, missions. So still I have some remaining sub. So from all the remaining subcategories, I want to create a one more group. Like that group name is called other group. Then what I will do simply, I'll come to my bottom here, simply check this value. Just simply click on this check button. Now you see all the remaining subcategories are going under other group here. And the group name is automatically given as other group. If you want, you can rename it. Simply right click and rename it. Okay. In that way, we have created three groups here. When you click on this arrow, I can see arts and binders are coming under group one here. Group under group two, copiers, envelopes, and fasteners we have selected. And from the remaining subcategories, I want to create a one more group which is called other group. So you can simply click on this include other option. Automatically, all the subcategories are going under other group here. Now the group the group name what I have created here is like the field name here is like subcategory group here. So this is automatically created by Tableau here. If you want to rename, you can rename it. Like the rename shout subcategory group like that you can rename it. Just click on OK. Now you see I got a group one, group two, and other groups. So in that way, if you want to if you want to find out the combined sales value of like combined value of some multiple subcategories, right? Then we can create groups actually. So why do we use groups means we can combine multiple values to a single value using groups. So groups can be created in multiple ways. The first option we have seen is like options. Using options, you can create groups here, and using calculation fields also you can create groups. Okay, so once you create groups, right, we can use groups in filter shelf, color shelf, and or we can use groups. Once you create group, you can use that group as you want. Okay, now as of now we have just seen how to create groups using options, right? Now let me show you how to create the same group using calculation fields. But before that, let me know, just see that we have created a group here, right? Now this is the group we have created from a subcategory field. But how to know that this group is created from which field we have created from this group? From which field we have created this group, right? If you want to know that type of information, just click on this drop down, go to describe option. The describe option under remote column, you can see this is coming from orders table and the field name is subcategory. From subcategory field, we are creating this group actually. And this group is having three members, group one, group two, other groups, like that. Okay. Now let's try to create a calculation field to achieve the same thing, how to create groups. In that case, I can go for if and end condition here. Now I simply use the subcategory here. If subcategory is in, I was simply telling you. So under group one, what we have created, like arts, comma binders, right? You can simply write like this, binders. So I want to group these two subcategories into a group one. So then after that we have to write then condition here. I want to group it as a group one, like that. So first we will check this condition, we will see later. Just click on apply here. So this is the calculation 26, right? Just drag this calculation 26. So if you create a group using calculation fields, right? Then for this calculation, we don't see that group symbol here. We will simply see equal to ABC symbol here. Okay. Just drag that into a row shelf here. And you see this calculation 26 is working similar to that of the group what we have created using options here. Okay. And if you try to see what are the subcategories we have under group one, right? Simply drag the subcategory into the row shelf. Now you see under group one, we have arts and binders. Okay, if you remove subcategory, you will be seeing the combined sales here of the arts and groups, arts and binders. Now what I'll do, I'll simply like this, I can create as many groups as I want. Now I'm just repeating the same thing here, just copy and paste it here. So if these three are under like, for example, um, copiers, envelopes, and fasters, I want to make it into group two, right? So like you can write the same thing here. Copiers, envelopes, envelopes, and fasters. So then I want to combine all these three into a group two actually. So when you just click on apply, right? You just click on apply. Maybe we have some faster spelling is wrong. FASTENES, right? FASTENERS. Here we have to see the spellings also. Like that, under group two, we have all these three values. But you see, all the remaining subcategories are represented here as a null here. But I don't want to display null here. All the subcategories should go under other group, right? So what I will do, I have to use else group here. So when I write else condition here, and without mentioning any conditions like this, I can directly write my output here like other group. So just click on apply. Now you see all the remaining subcategories are going under other group here. So these are the two methods we can use for creating the groups actually. So once you create group, as I told you earlier, you can use the groups as a filters also, only filters also. Just select all here. Now you see 29 lakhs is the combined sales of the all the subcategories, like all the rows in the database. So I just show the this group as a filter. Now you see when you select group one here, it is showing simply the total sales of the group one here, group one subcategories like that. Okay. Now let me tell you some more complex, like bit different approach in creating groups actually. So let's simply drag the customer name into the row shelf here. I want to combine. You see, if you see here, for example, there are some customer whose name is starting with A and whose name is starting with B like that, right? So I want to group all the customers whose name is starting with A. So then what I will do, simply drop down, just create a group here. A window will be opened like this. Now, if you go bottom of this window, right, you will see one option which is called find option. I'll simply click on the find option here, and under find members, I can simply write A here. After that, I'll go to this drop down. I'll simply select starts with function. Now what this will do is, it will try to identify all the customers whose name is starting with A. So once you do that, right, just simply click on find all option. Now you see Tableau is automatically highlighting all the customers whose name is starting with A only. If you go down, it is not highlighting the remaining members whose name is not starting with A. Then I want to group all these members, right? So you simply click on the group option. Now you can rename this group under as A here, like that. Now, the next thing is I want to group all the customers whose name is starting with B or Ben, like that. So so what it will do is it will find out all the customers whose name is starting with BEN. Just click on find all option. You see Tableau automatically highlighted all the customer customer names whose name is starting with BEN. Then click on the group symbol. You can rename it BEN pen group like that. And I can simply write here CAR, and I can select the contains option also. What it will do is it will try to highlight all the customers whose name contains CAR. The CAR may be in the middle, end, or in the at the end or starting also. Just click on find all option. It will try to highlight all the members whose name is starting, whose name contains CAR. So for example, in this name, CAR is here, coming here. Okay. So just click on the group option. Now it will try to create a group which is called CAR. Okay, you can try to rename it CAR. And we have we have created a group A, and we have created Ben group, and we have created CAR group, and still we have some customers are there. Then I want to group all the remaining customers into other group. Then I can simply click on the include other option. Then tab will populate all the customers into other group here. Okay, now I have created four groups: A group, Ben group, and car group, and other groups. So for example, I can simply click on this other group, and i want to I want to populate this person under Ben group. Then what I can do, simply right click and add to. Just select Ben group here, simply click on OK. Now under Ben group I can see that person here. So in that way, you can, after creating groups also, right, you can move one person to other groups also. From one group to other group, you can move members. If you want to ungroup a particular group, right, you can simply select that particular group here and simply click on the ungroup option here. Okay, just click on OK. Now you see the Tableau automatically created this group here. Drag this here. Now you see under group A where all these persons are coming. Under Ben group, all these persons are coming based on the condition what we have seen while creating the group here. Okay, so we can create the same group using calculation fields also. I can simply write the same thing. So I have used start with, right? The customer name is starting with like A. Then I want to create a group A here like that. So like that you can create, we have starts with function, we have ends with function, and we have contains function also there. So instead of going for groups option, you can go for calculation fields also. In this particular case, what I can say is, instead of creating groups with the option, just go for calculation fields using case statement or something like that. So it is a best practice given by Tableau that creating groups will decrease the performance, but alternately you can use the groups option. So groups calculation, create a calculation field using using calculation fields. Sorry, create groups using calculation fields will improve the performance instead of using option here. So it is the best practice given by Tableau. Okay. Okay. But let me tell you, so we just have seen how to create groups, right? Using options and calculation fields. Um, and we'll just discuss about, okay. You see, these are some points we have to remember while creating groups actually. So this is a definition and all those I have given here. So combining multiple values into a single value is nothing but a group here. Okay. So groups can be created both on dimensions and measures as well. And symbol for group is an attached symbol. Groups can be dynamic if you use calculation fields. Um, so these things. And I just want to tell you a few real-time examples here. So as the fourth point, right, like as a second point, groups can be created both on dimensions and measures. So what you can do, simply go to measure also, any measure, simply right click and you see create. I can see groups option is there. Okay, so you can create groups for both dimensions and measures. And one of the interview question is like, we cannot create sets. There is one more concept which is called set. Sets cannot be created on measures here. Because of that reason, you don't see here sets option. Okay, here I want to tell you one real-time example here. So let's drag the subcategory into row shelf here. Okay, before telling this example, as I told you, we can create groups based on the dimensions and measures also, right? So we know already that how to create groups and measures. So just drag the measure into text here. Now we see for each subcategory, I can see some sales value here. So I want to group all these subcategories based on a measure value. So we have already seen this option. So the like based on the measure value, I want to create groups here. If it is greater than or equal to 0 and same sum of sales is less than or equal to 50,000, then I want to create this group as under like 0 to 50K group like that. So we have seen already this, right? Like that. But I just try to remember it one more time. See just control V is greater than 50,000 and less than 2 lakhs, for example. Then it is coming under like 50K to 2 lakhs group. Else, I want to make it as a greater than 2 lakhs group. Okay, so this is a calculation 27. As I told you while writing this calculation, we have to cover entire axis range, like from minus infinity to plus infinity we have to cover. So in the first thing we have covered from 0 to 50,000. If you want, you can remove this first statement, which will cover minus infinity to 50,000, like that range. So in the second, we have covered 50K to 2 lakhs. In the third one, we are covering the entire from 2 lakhs to infinity. So this is a calculation 27. Just click on OK. So this is nothing but a group here. When you drag this into row shelf here, you can see based on the condition what we have written, these groups are working. But for this to be happen, we have to use the subcategory in the row shelf. When you remove the subcategory, it will not work. Why? The reason I told you while we are discussing about fixed LODs. Okay. Now once you create this group, right? As I told you, you can use the same thing as a filter also. Now the user will be asking that when you want to select 0 to 50K thousand group, all these are subcategories which are coming under, which are making sales between less than 50,000, like that. So groups can be created on based on aggregated values as well as the row level data also. So we have seen how to create the row level data, right? Like for example, okay, let me tell you clearly this one also. Okay, so I have 1 lakh records in the database, and some records are having sales value greater than 1,000 and some records are having sales value less than 1,000. I want to see the summation of all the records which are having sales less than 1,000. I'll simply do like this: sales less than or equal to 1,000. Okay. So this will create a group actually. So it is a row level calculation. In the last calculation, we are using sum, right? Sum means it will take all the values from the sheet itself. But when I don't use summation here, it will directly go to the database, each table, each row in the database, and it will try to evaluate this condition for each row in the database, like that. So if sales is less than 1,000, then I want some like less than 1K. Else I can say greater than 1K. And I can say. So this is calculation 28. Simply click on OK. Now you see this calculation is as this calculation is performed on the row level data, right? No need to drag any dimension into the sheet. Why? Because this is not depending upon the aggregated data. So this is directly evaluated on the each row in the database. Because of that reason, every time we can see less than 1K and greater than 1K. And if you drag sales into text here, you see uh, this is the summation of all the rows in the database which are having sales value less than 1k here. If I do summation of all those rows, it is giving 16 lakhs, something like that. Okay. So this is a row level operation. Now let me tell you one more simplest thing. We just have seen how to group the subcategories, right? Using options, right? So in the class itself, we have seen we are just combining the arts and binders, right? We are combining arts and binders. Okay, before this calculation, okay, let me tell you this one. So arts and binders, we are combining into a single group, right? So instead of creating groups within the Tableau, so it will decrease the performance of a dashboard actually. If you create groups within the Tableau, it will decrease the performance. So what we do is, we'll try to move these groups calculations or row level calculations into the backend only. We'll do in real time to improve the performance. We'll create these groups and all the row level calculations in the database itself. So how to do this in the database means, exactly I don't tell you how to create in the database, but the first method, what is the best method is like, I want to combine arts and binders into a group one, right? So what I will do is, I'll go to my Excel here. So in the Excel, like I'll simply they'll provide one mapping file to us. So this is called a mapping file. Okay, let me go a bit slow here. So I have all the subcategories, right? So I simply go to Tableau. If you want to export all these values, all this data into Excel file, right? Just go to worksheet option, copy. You can go to export option also, but the best method of what I can say is go to copy option and simply copy the cross tab. So when you click on the cross tab, right, all this data will be copied into the uh, like that, and just simply do Control V here. Now you see all the subcategories are copied into our Excel file. So in that way, in the real time, users will aggregate the data first in the Tableau sheet, then they'll try to export this data into Excel file or CSV files. You can simply go to export and cross tab to Excel. What this will do is, it will directly copy the data into Excel file and it will automatically open the Excel file. Okay. Now you see, now I can simply say subcategory group here, subcategory. So I want to combine arts and binders into group one, right? So I'll simply write here group one, CC, group one like this. And for example, assume that I want to combine all these subcategories to group two, right? Just select all these, just paste it here like it is group two. So like that, right, in real time, they will be giving you mapping file like this. So this is called a mapping file. So this is called mapping file here. So all the subcategories they want to populate under other group, right? Simply select other group. So they will provide this mapping file to you. We need not to bother about here. Just save this file. I'm just grouping file. I can say like mapping file. So I'm just saving it under a desktop. Just save it. Now what I will do, I'll go to this data source here. Just click on this data source option. Now, now you see we have already connected to one sample superstore dataset here. And from here, if you want to connect to one more data source, right, you can simply click on the add button here. So this is called cross database joins. Cross database joins. If someone asks you what is the meaning of cross database joins, right? So assume that you just tell them that we have already connected to one data source. Assume that this data source is a MySQL database. And if you want to join for this MySQL tables, I want to join tables which are coming from the other data source like Excel file. So joining one database tables with the other database tables is nothing but cross database joins. Cross database joins means we are connecting to multiple data sources and we are joining the tables. We are joining the tables in all those databases. That is nothing but cross database joins. So if you are already connected to one database here, I want to connect to one more Excel file here. Simply click on the add button here, and I can simply click on the Microsoft Excel file. I will simply navigate to the mapping file. Simply click on open here. So now you see we have connected to Microsoft MySQL database and mapping file, which is an Excel file. Now, how to identify these two data sources means sample superstore is in blue color, mapping file is in orange color. So now in this orders file, in this orders one, just click on open it here. So within this, we already have orders table, people's table, and returns table. And for this orders table, I want to join one more table, which is coming from the Excel file, that is sheet 3 here. So you simply drag the sheet 3 here. Now you see sheet 3 is joined with this orders table. Just click on this drop down, and from the orders table, automatically Tableau selected subcategory here. And from this sheet 3, it is already automatically selected subcategory here. If you don't like this type of join, right, simply just close this join, close these fields, and you can manually select here. You can manually select subcategory, and here you can select subcategory here, and you can go for left join here. In general, we'll go for left join. As I told you initially, now you see this sheet 3 is in orange color, which is coming from this orange color data source. Okay. And these are all in blue color. Like you see this color, this vertical color is in blue color, right? So these are coming from this blue color data source. So joining tables from multiple data sources is called cross database joins. Now I simply go into sheet 53 here. Now you see, I need not to create any group here, or I need not to create any calculation fields here to create a group here. Why? Because I already joined a sheet 3 here. From sheet 3, the grouping is coming here, subcategory group. When you drag this field directly here, you see what are the groups I have given here, that is automatically reflecting in the tab here. So in this way, in real time, the best approach is you can create all the groups whatever you want in a separate file or a separate table if possible. If not possible, we can create these groups in the Tableau only. But for best performance, we should have a mapping file. If we don't have mapping file, we can ask the database team. So what they will do is, based on the requirement, they will be modifying these groups. For example, assume that sometimes we will be having users from the EMEA group, or from different regions we will be having, right? So what those people will do is, the people, they will do, they will modify these groupings based on their requirement, uh, based on whenever they want. So what we do, we'll simply refresh the data in the Tableau so that those groups will be reflected automatically in the Tableau also without creating any groups in the within Tableau. Okay, you can ask if you have any questions. So this is the best option I can say. And I'll just give you idea about some real-time examples here. I don't want to go through all this because they will take a lot of time. So, okay. So like I have created all the things, you can go through all this actually. It's another simply. Okay. Now we have one more simple concept in the Tableau. See in this sheet, in the sheet 3 of 3, right? We have created a continents, right? We have created continents here. So how to create continents here? For example, I'm just telling an example only. So for example, I can go to this orders table. I'll simply select city here, and I'll simply select region here. Simply press control, select city and a region here. Then click on this drop down. You can go to um, group by, okay, maybe just we are not getting that combined groups option. Combined group option is not coming here. Maybe that is because of This is a live data source. Okay. So what I will do, simply just click on this one, just extract the data, just click on the extract option, just save it somewhere in your local system. If it is getting some problem, then extract the data again. And while saving, just give some different name here. Okay, now we have created extract here. Now select the city and a country here. Just go to drop down here. Now maybe you will be seeing some combined field option will be coming here actually. So let me see that option is create combined field option. So we should have that actually here. Let me go to other data source, select the player name and this player name. Just give me a second. Group by data source, define the properties geographical. Okay, not sure why that option is not coming here. Just give me segment here and order ID. Go to drop down, create. Yeah, sorry. You have to go to create option actually. Then you can see combined field option is there. Just click on the combined field. Now you see a combined field is created here from the two fields. So in real, I just showed you here an example how to create combined field from two fields. But in real time, just press the control and you can select any number of fields and you can simply click on the combined field option. Now, once the combined field is selected, right? When you drag this combined field into the row shelf here, you see the combined field is created with the fields what you have selected like order ID and segment here. So this is also called concatenation. Concatenation means we are combining uh, multiple fields to a single field like this. So when you do this combined field option, right, these fields are automatically separated by comma here. Okay. So if you want to modify that, right, so I can go to my order ID combined field. First, just edit combined field option is there. Then you see here separated members by comma is there, right? You can use like slash also. Now you see those two fields are separated by a slash here. So once you do this right, then I can go to the same field here. Now I can simply click on the create group option. Like automatically all the fields are going under other group actually. You can simply select this group and just uncheck this include other group. Now all the fields, all the members will appear here. And now you can select the fields what you want to create. Like select these four fields here, click on the group button. Now you can create a continent option, continent one here. Like that you can select see, I'm just showing an example only here, but in the real time, you can use any fields to create continents. Like you can select districts and states, something like that, right? Like I want to create all the remaining members of the other continent. Simply can't include other option. So like I can say other continent like that. So I'm just telling you this option. Maybe it will be useful for some time, some real time maybe. Okay, we go for other options here. So what is the use other real-time examples are? We just have seen joining the mapping file instead of using grouping in the Tableau sheet level. So we just seen this option, right? We are using mapping file and all those, right? Okay. Now, for example, some real-time, right? You are getting some null values in the database. So if you want to group those null values into a single value, right? Then also we can go for this grouping option. I just want to simply tell you a simple example only. So for example, I have a name here. So in the name, I am having some null values here. Like that, I'm having name one, name two, like that I'm having. But in the middle, somewhere I'm having nulls here, like that. Okay. Now what I do, I select all these three. Just Control C, go to Tableau. Just it's somewhere in the middle. Now you see, okay, tab is not in those null values here. Maybe just mention those null values as okay. Just go to tableau here. Just go to data source button. Okay, tableau is not taking those null values, but assume that the null values are some blanks are coming like this. Blank value, some blank values are coming like that. Just copy these fields. Just closing the data source here. Just do Control V. So still null values are not coming here. So just let me write manually some null value like this. So now it will come. So it is the problem when we are working with Excel files. Tableau automatically remove those null rows actually sometimes. For example, you are having these null values, right? So if you want to create all these null values into a single group, right? I'll simply directly go to my name here. I'll go to simple alias option, or you can rename this nulls into some other group also. But it's a other method. But I can go to create a group option. You can simply select null value and include that into other group like this. And create like that. And one more simplest method is one more method is like I can create calculation fields also. So if I want to replace null values with some other different name, right? So what I'll do, I can use sim if null function is there. So what this function will do is this function is taking two arguments, expression one and expression two. So expression one must be where we have null values. So we have to provide that field here. And second argument must be what you want to replace that null values. So I want to replace null values with no data here like that. So if null, only nulls are replaced with no data, and but the remaining values will come as it is. So this is the calculation one. Simply click on OK. And when you drag this into row shelf, right, you see null values are sorry replaced with no data, not replaced with no data. Already, if null, sorry, maybe you have to take extract again. If null, see there's some definition also here for if null function. Just click on if null here in the middle somewhere here. It will show here like that. So nulls will be replaced by zero automatically. Okay. But I'm not sure why it is not coming here. So this calculation one, right? Hyphen hyphen. Okay, sometimes these won't work properly on the Excel data. Sometimes. Oh, okay, okay, sorry. What is the thing here is we have written this null value manually right in the Excel sheet. Because of that reason, it is not considering that as a null actually. So it is a text field. Null is a text field actually. Okay. Okay, no problem. So this is the method. If nulls are coming right, then you can simply use if null function. That will work actually in the real time. And one more scenario where we are using these groups, right? So sometimes some inconsistent regions are coming from the database. Okay. So those inconsistent regions we can make it a single value. So for example, assume that from the data source, right? Assume that, sorry, just let me know if I'm going a bit fast, but it is, you can understand. So assume that sometime I have East region, I have West region like that, right? So, but sometimes you see that because of some typing mistake, right? East region is coming as EAS only. So EAS is nothing but East region. Sometimes they will simply write East region as ER. So East, EAS and ER. These three are Nothing but these three should come under each region only. Okay. So what I have to do is I have to combine all these east, EAS and ER into each region only. So what I can do, can simply combine all these values into all these cells into each region, like EAST, EAS and ER. So this is one real-time example where we use groups. Okay, I think this is enough. So don't go in depth actually. So you may feel, feel bored. Okay, any questions till now? Okay, maybe I'm going a bit fast. Let me go a bit slow actually. Okay. So we'll discuss one more topic today, which is called sets.